listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode on Rising Above Shadows of Abuse, RASA. I'm your host, Grace Upper. This is where we discuss subject matters relating to abuse, trauma, mental health, society, and culture. Today's episode centers around world news on abuse. From the Independent News, dated the 2nd of April 2025, by Sam Russell. The judge said Douglas Clifton Brown, who will be entitled to be released on license after serving 2/3 of his sentence, told Etonian, who threatened to throw his former partner down a well at his family's country estate, has been jailed for 24 years for attempted murder. Douglas Clifton Brown, 56, argued with Camilla Welby in the car after drinks at a friend's house and then attacked her in August 2023. Judge Alice Robinson, sentencing at Norwich Crown Court, said Clifton Brown became angry after a perceived slight and drove past the turning for Miss Welby's house when he was supposed to be driving her home. The judge said the defendant of Cogham, Norfolk, told Miss Welby he would drop her off at the next village and she would walk home in the dark, or then started driving again after he tried unsuccessfully to get her out of the car. On the way, you were angry, shouted and repeatedly struck her in the face, the judge said, noting that Miss Welby's nose was broken and her eye sockets were bruised. She told Clifton Brown, "You said you were going to take her, Miss Welby, to a disused well at High House, throw her in it, then yourself." The High House estate, now a wedding venue near Cogham, has been in his family for generations. The judge said the defendant had recently topped up the water in the well. It was in a remote wooded location. She said the journey to the estate took up to 40 minutes and Clifton Brown drove right up to the well, got out of the car, and Miss Welby was in complete terror that she was about to be killed. She said Miss Welby was able to grab her scarf and wind it round Clifton Brown's neck to get him off her. The judge described the incident as an angry, drunken, and petulant, albeit extreme reaction to the perceived slight from Miss Welby earlier in the evening and likely a build-up of antagonism during your relationship. I said that the impulsivity associated with ADHD may have played a part in the offending by impairing your ability to exercise appropriate judgment. She said that in mid-2023, Clifton Brown and Miss Welby had been in a relationship for around 15 years. Clifton Brown told Miss Welby while on holiday in Greece that summer that the relationship was over, the judge said. She said Miss Welby wanted an amicable separation and said Clifton Brown would stay at her house for 2 months while he found a place to stay. The judge said that on the day of the incident, everything was fine until she, Miss Welby, got in the car. You accused her of belittling you in front of your friends when describing her daughter's wedding and felt she had underplayed your role, she said. Although what precipitated the argument may have been trivial, your reaction was not. Clifton Brown was found guilty of attempted murder after an earlier trial and has previously admitted causing grievous bodily harm, GBH, with intent and making a threat to kill. The judge said Clifton Brown will be entitled to be released on license after serving 2/3 of his 24-year sentence. What do you think, listeners and viewers? Please leave your comments as relates to this newsreel via email address risingaboveshadowsofabuse@gmail.com.